Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, thy comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. For many of you that don't know, Mom was hospitalized right after Thanksgiving. And from Thanksgiving till December the 20th, she just could not get her strength back. She tried and tried, but it just was not coming. So in December the 20th, a day after her 81st birthday, they took her back to the hospital. After 2 days in the intermediate ICU, a social worker came in and explained that the doctors had done everything they could do for her, and it was time to look at home hospice. Well, the minute that they said that, Mom was resigned to the fact. She knew that was going to be it. She never batted an eye. It never bothered her in the least. She was ready to go. So that night we were in the hospital, and she said, "Get you a pen and paper and come here." So, of course, I did exactly what I was told. And she said, "I want to plan my memorial service, and I want you to write it down." So I take shorthand, and that was about as quick as she was talking, and so I started. And she said, "I want Carrie to stand up first and welcome everyone and tell a little bit about my life. Then I want you to get up, read the 23rd Psalm, and tell about what a good mother I was." To which I replied, "Mom, I cannot stand up and lie in front of all those people." To which she slapped the fire out of me. Then I want Kevin to speak and then sing a song, and Beth and Aaron to sing the rest of the songs. And you're going to hear them all today because if you don't, she's going to haunt us. So we're going to have them. And I said, "Well, Mom, what if Kevin cannot sing those? That's going to be kind of a hard time for him. What if he can't sing them?" And she said, "He can." So Kevin's going to sing today. We brought Mom home on Christmas Eve, and I asked her, I said, "Do you want to go to the bed, or do you want to sit in the chair, in her chair?" And she said, "No, I'm going to sit in the chair." So she sat there. She really didn't feel like it, but we knew she was doing it for all of us. She sat in the chair all night. We ate. We opened gifts. She laughed. She was not she was talking, but her breath was kind of slow and deliberate because she was having trouble breathing. And so she said, "I want everybody to come in here." So we all, of course, walk in there. And she said, "I want to talk to every one of you." She said, "I have lived 81 years, and there is not one day that I would change." She said, "I'm tired, and I am ready to go. I am ready to sing and dance and breathe again and see my family and all my friends. So don't cry for me. I'm going to be just fine, and so are you." She said, "I raised 3 Christian children who have married 3 Christian spouses, and they're all raising their children and grandchildren as Christians. What more is there? I can assure you there were some tears, but I told all the grandkids that night that was the greatest gift that they will ever, ever receive." And it was for us. It was not a sad time. I'm telling y'all, it was not a sad time. There were some pretty funny times too, and if you know my family, you know we're all pretty warped. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you some of the funny things that happened. One was that particular night. Cooper, who is in PA school, had been keeping a watch on Mom's oxygen level with a little thing called a pulse ox. And so he would put it on her finger and check, and it needed to stay around 92, 94. Well, Cooper noticed that she was not really breathing real well. She was struggling a little bit. And so he went and checked her pulse ox. Well, it was 75. For you people that don't know, that is very bad. That is brain damage bad. And so he called me outside and said, "Oh, Lord, Mom, she's going to go right here in front of us if we don't do something. Her oxygen level is at 74. I said, "What in the world? How did that happen so quick?" So we started running around. Cooper said, "I'm going to go check her oxygen machine." So Cooper walked out into the hallway. And for those of you who don't know, I have the most beautiful grandbaby that's ever lived. And she had just pulled the plug. And so Nano was gasping for air. So Cooper plugged it back in, and Mom perked back up a few minutes later, and we didn't tell anybody for a little while, Cooper and I, till we knew she was back up to where she needed to be, and whew, that was close. Then on Thursday, which was the day that she died, Cooper and I were sitting on the bed with Mom was in the hospital bed, and Cooper and I were sitting on the bed, and a car commercial came on. And Cooper and I weren't really paying attention. He was on his iPad, and I was doing something, and Mom was just watching TV, and there was a car commercial that came on, and it said something like, "Sale ending soon." And she looked at me, and she said, "Just like me, ending soon." And just died laughing, and Cooper and I went, I mean, really, little did we know about 2.5 hours later, that's exactly what would happen. She couldn't get comfortable after that moment. She was not in any pain, but she just could not get comfortable. So Cooper said, "Mom, I think we ought to call the hospice nurse. Let her come out and decide what we need to do here." So Barbara came and she took one look at Mom and said, "We can keep her so much more comfortable at hospice. Let's move her." So, of course, the first thing she asked was Mom, and Mom said, "That's fine." So we moved Mom. We called the ambulance, and they moved Mom. Cooper rode in the ambulance with Mom to the hospice, and she got there about 2:05. They got her all bathed, put on the most beautiful gown you have ever seen, pink with flowers, put lotion on her. She just smelled so good. And about 10 minutes later, they came out and said, "This is it. She's fixing to go." So I went and got everybody. We came back in, and at 4:05, she entered heaven. And I'm telling you, it was not the saddest time I've ever been. It was a very special time because I've never had the peace that I had at that moment. Dad holding one hand, everybody was touching her all over. It was absolutely incredible. So if anybody can go to heaven the way she did, it was a beautiful, beautiful thing. So don't let it scare you because it was wonderful. Well, I'm going to close with one last kind of funny thing that happened this week. On Wednesday, when I got home from work, I got home and Dad was a little upset. And I said, "What's the matter?" And he said, "Well, you got some mail." And I said, "Okay." And I looked over and there was an envelope there that said, "The Georgia Crematory Society." And I said, "Well, Dad, it's okay. That's just your form that I had registered y'all for. And so you're now a member of the Crematory Society." And then I had also gotten a box. I think it was some clothes I ordered my grandbaby. I'm not sure. But I think it was. And it was about this wide and about that tall. And he said, "And then you got that box." And I said, "Okay." And he said, "I picked it up and it was so light." He said, "I thought it was your mama." And I said, "Dad, Mom's not coming FedEx. Okay, when she comes, she's either going to come first class or we're going to pick her up." So we picked her up. She was first class, so she came first class, but she didn't come FedEx.